Okay, hello. Welcome to Module 5. All right, so this week is a big week. Okay, and you'll want to read the instructions closely, for especially the assignment. Okay, so this week, your discussion is about disability narratives, and my, oh my, have those changed over time. Once upon a time, being female was thought to be a disability in some circles. And maybe it still is, I don't know, but it really was. The disability narrative changes all the time. And especially now, sometimes disabilities are not always visible. There can be things like, OCD, that's something I struggle with. And then like ADD, things like that. You look at a person and you don't necessarily, it's not like somebody who maybe can't move around the same as you or something more obvious at first glance. So there's many types of disabilities, and it's good, I think, that the disability narrative is moving, because I think the more that is known, then I think the more opportunities can be created, and the better we can serve those around us, those in our communities, ourselves. We really all struggle with something. And so it's good that the disability narrative is moving. It's moving in a positive direction, really, when we compare it to how it's been treated historically. So, and one of the reasons we study history is the most important reason, in my opinion, is so that we can do better now. We can look back. We can see how was this idea treated? How were certain people treated? And sometimes that is the hardest part of history, because the cruelty is just, it's appalling. The ignorance is appalling, the judgment. But it's important that we understand it so that as we go forward, we can be part of a wonderful solution. That, to me, is the most important reason that we study history. Okay, also, so that's your discussion. And remember to reply to 2 of your peers. When you do that, it really cements the learning in your own mind, and it just really enhances the overall discussion. Then for your assignment, this is where you've got to read the fine print. So for your assignment, there is a template. The project template is included, but you are not completing the whole template. All you're completing is part 2 and part 3 of the project template. So remember that. Do not do the whole project. You haven't completed enough to have a complete project yet. And you can do better in module 7 if you go in order and on time. Okay, also, a note about templates. When you see your similarity score, if the color is red, redo it, because I am going to ask that you redo it. Even with a template, your similarity score should not exceed 30%. It just really should not. So what you do for similarity scores to be that high, it means that so for example, I had somebody who turned in an assignment, had a 98% similarity score. That means that all but 2% of that already existed in its exact form somewhere else before it was turned in. That sort of starts to look like academic dishonesty. Similarity scores are higher with templates, but you're filling them in, right? So when you're filling the template in, you want to, obviously we all consult sources. As much as I would like to think I know everything, I don't. I have to look things up. I'm constantly learning. So we want to put the information we glean from those sources into our own words, while also giving credit to those sources. You've got to list your sources. To take somebody else's work, put it in your own words, and then not credit that source from which you got the ideas, that's plagiarism, it's academic dishonesty, and it's just a terrible practice. Somebody worked hard to publish those words and make them available for us to learn from. And so they deserve our respect and our credit. So make sure that you're listing your sources. But try to put things in your own words. Read it and think, okay, what does this mean? Put it in your own words. It's called paraphrasing. And then make sure you list your source so that you are giving credit where credit is due. It helps engage, I think, our thinking motor skills in our brain, getting the gears turning to put things in our own words. And if you can read something and then put it in your own words, it's really important because it means that you understand it. So, okay, that's just my plug. Do your own work, don't cheat. And make sure you give credit where credit is due. That's essential. All right, if you have any questions, reach out to me. And if you have any missing assignments, turn them in. You can still turn them in for full credit opportunities. I don't penalize for late submission. One thing though, when the clock runs, there's no overtime. When the clock runs, it's over. So we're in module 5, so you want to keep that in mind. Get caught up, stay caught up as best you can. All right, have a great week.